You come to Las Vegas, you've got to be interested in world-class entertainment and a big dose of make-believe. For this kickoff to summer, we are off to a California destination that promises the same, combining blockbuster movies and a world-class theme park into one fabulous package.
And then we are going for lunch at a place that combines Victorian steampunk decor and chocolate. Match made in heaven? We'll see.
So get ready, because this adventure starts right now. Welcome, my friends, to back-to-back road trips. Last week, we headed southeast into Arizona. Today, we're going in the opposite direction, west to California. Our destination is the world-famous Universal Studios, one of the oldest and most famous of the Hollywood film studios. In a mashup of two separate visits, we will explore Universal City, including the CityWalk and the brand's first theme park. Not gonna lie, Jurassic World is one thing we can't wait to see. We are really anxious to get to the park, so right now we're gonna zip through CityWalk and catch it on the next round. And here we are at the famous Globe.
So we have a beautiful little foggy water feature.
With more than 9 million visitors a year, Universal Studios Hollywood ranks among the top 10 theme parks in North America. What started 60 years ago in 1964 as a studio tour quickly grew into a full-fledged theme park with rides and attractions. But as you enter the park and walk Universal Boulevard, it's still Hollywood magic that is presented first. In this day trip, we can't possibly cover all the areas and attractions in Universal Studios Hollywood, but we are going to hit a few highlights. So consider this an enticement to make plans and come visit yourself. The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the largest themed area in Universal's upper lot, is a must-do. Almost instantly, there's a picture spot with the engineer of the Hogwarts Express. This fantastical world opened in 2016 and is done with such incredible detail you actually feel like you're there. Just what we would expect from the folks at Universal. The details in the windows and shops utterly charmed Paula to the point where you couldn't pull her away from them. The star attraction, though, is Hogwarts Castle and the thrill ride enclosed within. And get this, the interior of the castle is actually decorated with the props from the movie franchise.
No. Where did I put that book?
One thing we couldn't miss was the famous studio tour. In fact, we came back a few months later to experience the updated 60th anniversary version of the tour. This cool vintage glamour tram is your mode of transport as you travel through the studio backlots on a narrated tour. Until August 11th, the 60th anniversary version stops a few times for fun photo ops. One of these is an original tram used in the 1960s when the tours first began. And who could pass up a Doc Brown sighting right here in Hill Valley near the clock tower? He's even got the DeLorean. And further on, here's where Marty McFly and the family called home. The hour-long tour features the backdrops, streets, and sets used in countless famous films and TV shows. As you know, with movie magic, these facades can be dressed up for any period in history. There's a 3D experience featuring a showdown between King Kong and T-Rex. And just our luck, it turns out we boarded the wrong tram to avoid the flood.
Be careful if you're on the left, there's a flood. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
We gotta admit, we paid special attention to the Western sets. I would have loved to get off the tram and explore these on foot. You also travel through a number of large exterior sets in various states of mayhem, some of which you might recognize from the movies. And I'll tell you what, this full-sized plane crash was a showstopper. All right, we may have escaped the flood, but will we make it through Amity Island without encountering the shark? Nope. Looks like we are smack dab in the middle of the movie.
I don't see it.
As part of the 60th anniversary celebration, you can also score a fun pic with the shark. If you do the tour during the 60th anniversary celebration, you can also get a photo with the first ever replica of the Hollywood sign. We've done the studio tours in Hollywood, and this one is truly a standout. 2 big thumbs up. Plus, it's included in the price of admission to the park. Onward we go to our very next stop. The upper lot of the Universal Studios theme park is the ideal spot to begin your adventure in Super Nintendo World. Just look at all that color. The partnership between Universal and Nintendo dates back to 2015, but it wasn't until last spring 2023 that this fantastical attraction opened to the public. Anyone who had kids in the 1980s or beyond will recognize the world of Super Mario. And this is just like stepping right into a video game. Now here's a fun fact. Because of space limitations, Universal had to demolish several sound stages to make room for Super Nintendo World. Mario's original creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, was heavily involved in the design. Besides all the cool game theming and attractions, of course there has to be an appropriately themed restaurant in here, and there is. It's called the Toadstool Cafe. A timed reservation is a must, but it's worth it because the food and the desserts are as great as they look. All right, I think we saved the best for last. We're about to step into Jurassic World. Yes, my friends, dinosaurs live. This is Blue, a velociraptor that looks straight out of the movie.
When you're done, walk away slowly to show her you're not afraid. Oh, did you just squeak at her, ma'am? Yeah? Okay. She says thank you.
The Jurassic World water adventure opened in summer 2019, taking us via boat through the events of the 2015 movie of the same name. Once you're inside, the theming is superb. A few screams, and more than a few splashes later, it's over. And according to Paula, it was a fantastic ride. On our way out of the park, we caught another quick glimpse of Doc Brown and Beetlejuice. Who's ready for the long-awaited sequel coming later this year? I am.
The juice is loose.
On our most recent visit, we spent some time at CityWalk, a 3-block promenade of dining, entertainment, and shopping. The Universal Studio Store is a must-stop, located near the entrance to the theme park.
Guess what? We're at Universal CityWalk, and they have all this retro stuff in honor of 60 years. I love Universal, and finally Dale's here for the first time. Dale's shopping.
What I got back in time. Marty McFly. My favorite movie of all times. I love this movie. The Tuckers, eat your heart out.
When we went looking for a spot for lunch, this 97-foot stack and the most themed piece of architecture at Universal CityWalk was the obvious choice. Plus, who could resist a name like Toothsome Chocolate Factory? Step into a whimsical interior with exposed golden ductwork, a fantastical Victorian steampunk design, and you don't even care whether they have food or not, you just gotta see it. The industrial theme is carried out in shades of black and gold, bronze, and brass. The design was actually done by the Universal Parks and Resorts team. The external pipes and the moving gears are meant to create a visual for a working chocolate factory. The steampunk details are worthy of a movie set. As you pan the main dining room, just look at the props tucked underneath the staircase. In the center of the room is a sextant, inspired by the navigational tools of the Victorian era. This is called the Foundry, where the most famous items on the menu are made. They're milkshakes. There are more than a dozen flavors piled high with toppings like cake and pie and lots of whipped cream. With a name like Toothsome Chocolate Factory, expect to find an on-site store offering their handmade confections. This is it, and we want one of everything. Chocolate treats, macarons, bite-sized candies. Bag your own or already boxed for grab and go. The steampunk theming even carried on in the shop. I really wanted a pair of steampunk goggles, but I settled for a hat.
Oh, what do you think about my hat?
I think it's ridiculous.
It's a wonderful hat.
What are you buying, Dale?
I don't know. How do you like this? How cool is this hat?
It's a chocolate
I
hat.
think do I have it on backwards?
No, I think
No?
you have it on perfect.
What does it look like?
You look adorable.
Okay.
We were with family, so we didn't film the lunch itself, but we did have to check out the second level. That dome ceiling alone will make it worth the trip. The mural dome was painted by local artists and is actually a part of a story involving these two characters, Penelope and Jacques. We'll put the story in the description box. Let's take a quick spin around the mezzanine. Lots of seating here, themed art on the walls, and even a small patio overlooking CityWalk. This place is truly a work of imagination. Now here's a fun fact. Metal workers and sculpture artists from Universal contributed original pieces to the decor. An extraordinary venue for a fantastic lunch.
All right, quick note about the Chocolate Emporium.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the food. It's an American menu that's influenced with French, really unique takes on the dishes, and they were delicious.
It really was. And the theming in there is so amazing, all the way down to the servers.
Yeah, actually, it's very immersive, like every bit of it. Once you're in there, it's steampunkin'.
We really, really liked the place. And I'll tell you what, it was not that busy when we were there either.
No, and not very expensive either.
All right, let me tell you a little story about this soundstage tour that we were on. Back in 1915, the fella that owned the studio, and we couldn't remember who it was, he decided to do tours in there. You know what he charged? He would take you around for a tour for a nickel, and you got lunch.
So that tour that we talked about, 1964, it actually predates it by a long time.
So how much did it cost to get into this one?
Do you remember?
You know, I don't even remember what we paid for the ticket.
It was more than a nickel.
More than a nickel.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
You guys, honestly, there's so much about Universal we could do, and a lot of YouTubers have done Universal extensively. For example, in the Super Nintendo world, you need to have your power-up band if you're going to go in there, because you can collect coins and points and whatnot. Believe it or not, our 3-year-old granddaughter has her own power-up band.
All right, my friends, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Anything else you want to tell these nice people, Miss Paula?
2 things. First of all, tomorrow is Memorial Day, and we have to honor all of the fallen who have worked so hard to keep our country free. God bless them and their families. And next week, we are going for a buffet. We'll see you then.
Hope you had a good time. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.